you have continued to direct. There was The Invisible Woman in 2013, and then The White Crow in 2018, a film about the events leading up to the defection of Nureyev, the Russian ballet dancer. That was the most recent film you've directed. It seems like you wouldn't keep doing it if you weren't enjoying it. Is that the case? And is there another directorial project on the horizon?
I'm not sure there is. I, I've tried to put a film together recently. The climate's very difficult for independent films. And this film you just mentioned, The White Crow, about the defection of the Russian dancer Rudolf Nureyev in Paris in 1961. I have no background really in ballet, but the story of his defection and what it implied about the East-West divide, the Cold War, is full of extraordinary drama and about artistic freedom and personal freedom. And I think those things are still very current. But it was very, very hard to make. I find the finance aspect of it, I found it very, very bruising. The uncertainty of it all. So it's left me quite kind of, I have loved many aspects of directing and working with actors and working with heads of department, but the anxiety of finance, if it's an independent film, I have found really, really tough on that film. We did make it, and I'm proud of it, but I don't know at the moment whether I don't know. I just don't know the answer to that.
Yeah. The next one that I'll mention is, I think, a underappreciated gem. That is The Menu, in which you play Julian Slowick, celebrity chef who congregates a group of people at his restaurant for reasons that become apparent. Mark Mylod is the director, who also, people may or may not realize, was instrumental behind HBO's Succession. Just anything you'd like to share about that one, because again, I think somehow it didn't get as much love as it deserved when it was in theaters, but people have been catching up.
Yeah, it was a great part, and it was a great ensemble of people. And I love the script. Mark has a wonderful way of working, of honouring the writing and then allowing everyone to have a take, which he called, now you can have a freebie, which meant you can kind of play with the text and play with it. Because I think there is a place, it's an interesting debate to have about, lots of great film scripts that are rightly admired, and actors and directors have adhered to the words as written. One of the things about Fernando Meirelles just is about his belief in the improvised dialogue alongside written dialogue. And I think there is I think sometimes, it doesn't always work, but sometimes there's something can happen when something, even Steven Spielberg on Schindler's List, on a great script by Steven Zalian, said, just change it sometimes. Just say a phrase differently, because you just knew the patterns of repetition in the actor's mouth. Something gets stale, and you have to kick it. You have to sort of nudge it and knock it and do something different. And improvisation sometimes can release some energy that is as good as or better than something that's written. So the writer of Constant Gardener got very frustrated because all these improvised scenes were also being shot alongside his written, and I understood his frustration. But I also was there with Fernando going, also, he didn't like too much words. He would go, words, boring. I was sitting with, I always remember later, I was sitting with the great playwright Tom Stoppard. And he said, I liked very much your film of The Constant Gardener. I said, thank you, Tom. He said, tell me about that director. I said, well, he's wonderful. He's very free. He loves to, improvise and often change the writing. And Tom said, he sounds like someone who ought to be stopped.
Let's take a look at Rafe's film, The White Crow, and The Menu.